study.
Okay, I'm Eddie.
I'm Jill Vasny.
I'm Eva Pratt.
And I'm Surma Shred.
I'm Isaac Schreider.
Okay, that's it.
Most people regard the prospect of growing old with a strong sense of dread.
Especially in America, our vain society, we tend to delay the effects of aging as long as possible.
With humor drawn from real and imaginary life experiences.
Dave Barry offers his readers wise advice for staying young.
Our selection is called Tips on Looking Young by Dave Barry.
I don't want to sound conceited.
But for a 50-year-old man,
I look very young. On more than one occasion, I have been mistaken for a man of 48.
As it happens, that man was wanted by the authorities for bombing a post office. But still, I was flattered.
When I go out in public, I often notice that people are studying my facial skin closely.
your face,
They say haltingly.
it has a
Silky smoothness and a youthful glow.
I answer knowingly.
No, a piece of cheese had stuck to it.
They say this is jealousy on their part.
What they really want to say is,
Dave, you have such a youthful appearance. I wish you would reveal your secrets.
Okay then. The first
And most important,
thing that you must do if you want to look young is
1.
delay puberty for as long as possible. I myself waited until I was approximately 25 years old. At least that's how it seems to me now.
Looking back on my youth, especially the critical junior high school years, which were no picnic.
I was totally betrayed by my friends.
we'd all been biologically boys for as long as I could remember.
And
then, one fateful day, without telling me, they all sneaked off for a big shopping spree at the hormone store.
and suddenly they started turning into men, becoming larger and deeper voiced right before my very eyes. Similar to werewolves, but with more acne.
And of course, the junior high girls were going through even more extreme changes.
I'd see a girl in a morning math class.
And she looked basically the way she looked all through elementary school.
And then, that very afternoon, the same girl would walk into American history class, and she'd be a woman!
With makeup and stockings and bazooms and everything.
So the girls were becoming women.
And the boys were becoming men.
And I was becoming obsessed with my armpits.
My thinking was that if I was going to develop bodily hair,
This is the first place it would sprout.
I spent a lot of time locked in the bathroom, holding my arms over my head and scrutinizing my pits for signs of fuzz.
In other words,
Adolescence was not a good time for me.
It was during this phase of my life that I developed into a class clown.
if you were to do a study of all the people in school who were elected class clown, you'd find that exactly
0%
of this group was also elected most attractive.
or even most average looking.
No, we class clowns became class clowns because we were the unattractive, inadequate, and sometimes hairless individuals who,
having been rejected for membership by the member hormone society,
We're forced to develop a sense of humor so that other students would like us.
At parties, when the other students are dancing the dirty dog, or sneaking off into darkened corners,
We class clowns were the ones standing alone, trying to get attention via sight gags involving hors d'oeuvres.
you know what ticks me off?
What ticks me off is when women say,
And women are
always saying this.
that the quality they find most attractive in the opposite gender is a sense of humor.
Whenever we class clowns hear that, we emit a bitter, barking laugh, reminiscent of a seal.
we are asking ourselves,
Where were these women?
when we were standing at the hors d'oeuvres table with carrot sticks and golden nostrils.
and please do not even try to tell me that women become more attracted to a sense of humor when they get older.
If a stand-up comedian is on TV and you say something to a woman, she will turn to you and respond.
If Brad Pitt is on TV and you say something to a woman, she may respond to you in a vacant and distracted manner, but she will continue to stare fish-like at Brad Pitt.
But getting back to my original point, which those of you photographed with memory will recall,
Is puberty. I was a very late bloomer, and this fact made my life quite painful during adolescence, which, in my case, lasted for several decades.
But in the long run, it paid off, because now I look unusually youthful, and many of my peers look like Dwight Eisenhower.
And I want to rub it in.
I
union
Right now!
So that I can walk up to some former stud football player and say,
Hi, I'm Dave Barry. Which class member's father are you?
Haha, that would be a good one. I would really enjoy that.
Until the former stud football player threatened to punch my face in. Then, to make him see that I was just kidding,
I would put carrot sticks up my nose.
my second tip on how to look young is
2. Get plenty of sleep.
When I say plenty of sleep,
I am not talking about 8 hours per night.
If that's all the sleep you're getting, it's only a matter of time before people start mistaking you for Keith Richards.
As an older person, you need to get as much sleep as you possibly can. When the going gets tough, the older person takes a nap. That should be your motto. Why?
because of the following known scientific fact.
Your body does not age when you are sleeping.
this was proven by the famous medical case study by the esteemed Dr. Irving concerning a subject named Rip Van Winkle, who fell asleep and slept for 20 years, and
He didn't age a single day.
But the downside was that he was having hallucinations involving bowling elves. But that's a small price to pay for youthful appearance.
Here's something else to consider. According to the FBI statistics, fewer than 11% of all violent crimes are committed by people who are sleeping.
Yes, sleep is a highly beneficial activity.
Yet, for some reason, many people frown on sleeping, especially during working hours.
So you have to learn to do what many of us have learned to do.
Lie about napping.
I do this all the time.
If somebody calls me when I'm asleep in the middle of the day, I sit bolt upright and answer the phone with an extremely, almost violent, perky voice.
I sound like a game show announcer on amphetamines.
hello!
I shout.
I'm sorry,
The caller asks.
were you sleeping? For some reason, the caller always asks this when I use my perky voice.
No!
I shout, adding for clarification.
No!
I'll call you back later.
The caller says.
Fine!
I shout.
I won't be sleeping then either!
The problem with this technique is that when the phone wakes me up in the middle of the night, when I have every right to be sound asleep,
I find myself automatically lying about it anyway.
Hello!
I'll shout into the receiver, sometimes adding for emphasis.
I'm not asleep.
Why not?
the caller asks.
It's 3:30 a.m.
My third tip for remaining young-looking is 3.
Avoid medical care.
Medical care is the #1 cause of sudden rapid aging among middle-aged people.
Ask yourself, how many times have you heard somebody tell you a story like this?
Ralph was feeling fine, no problems at all, and then he went in for a routine physical checkup.
And the next thing we heard, he was in critical condition with the majority of his internal organs sitting in a freezer in an entirely different building.
I'm not saying that the medical profession deliberately tries to treat apparently healthy people essentially the same way that high school biology students treat frogs.
And I'm certainly not saying you should refrain from getting needed medical care.
I'm simply saying that modern doctors have many years of training, and they have a vast arsenal of miracle drugs and devices and surgical techniques.
And by God, they're going to use these things on somebody!
They can't help themselves. It's human nature.
They're like a teenage boy who has just been handed the keys to a brand new Ferrari.
He's not going to let it just sit in the driveway.
He's going to take it out and crash it!
So if you walk into a medical facility, for any reason whatsoever, including to fix the photocopier machine,
Medical professionals are going to pounce on you and remove 6 quarts of blood and 3 to 4 pounds of tissue.
And they will put these things into an extremely sophisticated, high-tech diagnostic device that by processing literally billions of bits of data at lightning speed will tell them
Within a matter of seconds.
Whether or not you have health insurance.
my final
And
most important.
tip for looking young is
4.
Learn to manage stress. Let's say you have a job that carries with it a great deal of stress, as indicated by medical symptoms, such as recurring pain caused by pounding your head against your desk.
This
is not good.
Not only is stress unhealthy, it also causes you to age more rapidly.
So you need to learn to relieve your stress. You must not let it become bottled up inside where it can cause harm to you.
You must let it out.
Where it can cause harm to others.
You can also reduce stress by using a breathing technique developed over the centuries by Hindu mystics.
And practiced today by millions of Americans enrolled in yoga classes. Basically,
What you do is take a deep breath and then exhale slowly while saying, I quit this stupid class!
If these tips don't make you look as young as you would like, there is always a fast-growing field of cosmetic surgery.
More and more baby boomers are taking advantage of surgical techniques, such as facelifts, to transform themselves from people who look as if they're in their late 40s, early 50s into
the people who look like the intelligent reptile aliens on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes, it
It
can be
pretty silly.
The extremes to which some aging people will go in an effort to look younger.
So don't get hung up on it.
Don't be victimized by our shallow youth-obsessed culture.
Don't start believing that you're unattractive just because you're developing gray hairs and wrinkles and hideous spots all over your body.
You look fine!
Really?
And I'm not just being patronizing because, as I mentioned earlier,
I happen to be unusually youthful looking.
I'm sure I'll feel exactly the same unconcerned way when I start to look old.
I'll just look myself in the mirror and I'll say, you're getting older. It's a natural part of life.
and
It's okay. And then I'll shoot the mirror.